How was the week?
Good. We learned a lot.
Okay. What do you mean?
Got to look into, kind of look deeper into my number 5 and the number 10. It was interesting. There was some answers that I didn't know were going to come up, and they did. Like the more I started to dig in to how I felt or what I do or what I like, my responses to my situation, like the more clarity came up as to who my 2 identification factors are in it. So there was a lot of clarity and new information that kept coming up.
Okay. If we think about the 2 voices right now, where are you at?
The wanting child, it's funny, I want to say 6, but my gut is saying 6, but I'm saying to myself, well, it's much higher than that. I know I'm feeling impatient. I know I'm not feeling satisfied. And yet the inside of me is almost saying, no, you're okay. And I'm like, I don't know if I am okay.
So let's take the 2 voices, like not the 10 voices, like the 2 voices that you have in 5.
5, yeah.
And let's give the positive voice a number and the negative voice number, and then you're gonna make an average.
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah. Okay.
So think about this like the wanting child, from the place of the wanting child, like the desire, the place that you cannot stop yourself from, the impatient.
No, you know what? Yeah, it is a 6. It is a 6. Like I feel that want, but it's not as high as other days. Like it's not as powerful as other days, but I think it might be because I've put so many tasks ahead of myself to focus on that. So I'm not giving the wanting child too much of a chance to be able to be at such a high number, because I'm distracting it with other things that needs to get done. So it's there, but I'm kind of trying to distract it. So it is kind of like at a 6.
So there is the want and there is the need. I need and there is I want. And the list of the need is long, and the list of the want is there. I just reflect you what I heard, and I just want to confirm with me that this is, and the voice of I want is there, and you still try to navigate between both of them.
Yeah.
It's like to learn how to take more of the want, take less of the need, move maybe. Transform some kind of like interpretations or points of views of the need into the want. This is what I hear.
Yeah. They're kind of like having a hard time understanding each other.
Okay, can you give me an example of the week, from the week that you had that?
There was a lot more, a lot more balance. Like the wanting child wasn't as harsh. There was much more conscientious decision making to create a healthier atmosphere so that the wanting child wasn't suffering so much, wasn't throwing so much of a tantrum type thing. I created a space, a caring space, but by keeping it busy, like, when the kid's crying too much, so you give them a toy or something to focus on, or a task. You say, oh, look, complete this. And then all of a sudden the kid's like, oh, what is this? And they calm down a little. So my week was very much finding different ways to, I don't know if distract or maybe change just the energies from one focus to another.
I like it.
So it's there. I know that inside they're like, well, this isn't what I wanted, but I'm creating a space so much that they're like, but I guess this is interesting. So like, I know that the want is still there. I know that the wanting child's like, well, yeah, but I'm still not getting what I want. I'm like, yeah, but never mind. Look at this. Oh, look at this pretty shiny thing. So
it's like to enroll the child.
Yeah. Yeah, you know they're still not getting what they want, but you're like, yeah, but listen, as long as you kind of calm down right now, I'm in that process, just trying to bring the child down from the tantrum of saying I want it. So we're just in that process of gently kind of like
I like it.
changing, saying, oh, look over here, look at this.
I love it. I like it. Especially because this is what we're doing here in this process, and I feel like this is what you're starting already doing with this child. What about the girl in
The meadow.
the middle?
Oh, no. Maybe like a 3 or 4. Like she's not there, she's there. But it doesn't have that air of natural. Like the girl in the meadow to me is a very non-effort, just kind of natural state of being. But it still feels like any sense of peace, there's a forced effort to it. So, I'm creating a general space that you would think that the girl in the meadow will be happy with, but it's still like forced. It's like, it's not exactly a meadow. It's like I put some plants in the space, stuck her in there. They're like, there, you're in a meadow. And she's like, no, these are just some fake plants and I'm still indoors. So that's why, like, she's
Not
there.
bullshitting me.
Yeah, she's like, don't bullshit me. That's exactly what it is. So the girl in the meadow, like, I can tell she's there and I can tell we want to create that, but it's still not authentic. So that's why she's only like a 2 or 3, because we're like, we know you're there, we know you want, and I see you. We just don't have, don't have that yet, but here's a flower to look at. So
it's interesting because this process on one hand asks us to grow up, and in order to grow up, we need to put ourselves in different places and to play with them, the roles. And it seems like this girl in the meadow is like she's faking it until she will make it. But for now, even the fake is like, okay, it's tricky. It's too tricky for me right now. I can see that I'm playing a game, but I don't know where it leads. I don't know which game I'm playing, what's going on here. Is it fake? Is it real? But I'm letting it, I'm allowing it for now. This is what I hear. So from 1 to 10, it's like around 4.
So it's still a little lower than that, but yeah, it's still like 2 or 3. It's still too low to feel that, because I know what that would feel like, and it's still too low.
Okay. So we have 2, and we have 6.
6? Yeah.
Okay. We have 2, and we have 6. Normally, it's very natural to be in this state of mind. Normally in the process, I think it told you that, we're going to break even. And later on, no, actually, number 10 will govern number 5 in sort of a point. Normally, that's a tendency. I'm not saying that will happen here, but that's the tendency of the process. During the process, number 10 is getting higher value. And then number 5, which is right now he's the one who takes the lead and moves this process. He will be lower. He will be low. Why? Because the state of mind still in kind of like win-lose. Win-lose. So I'm the winner right now. You're the loser right now. But later on in this process, our purpose is to create some kind of like equal number. It can be 6, 6. 5, 5, 3, 3, 4, 4, like whatever. And that's where the 2 voices are saying like, okay, I'm done with fighting. I'm done with the war. Time out. And that's where they're starting to learn the dance and to learn how to cooperate with each other. And that's where, like, normally it starts when we're starting to drive in the new road, which is okay. So now what we'd like you to do is we're going to move to the 3rd step of the game, And the third step of the game, it's basically starting to build a new road. Okay?
Yeah.
And if you think about constructions or architectures, the first step before they go, to the real thing, what do?
Make a blueprint.
Yeah. They make a blueprint. So this is exactly what we're going to do now. We're going to create a blueprint. And the blueprint is, the papers that we will see there, everything. Basically, people have to call it vision. But in Show Me the Way game, it's more than a vision. Because once you start to learn how to work with the effective question, this is the third step of the game. That means that you're already starting to activate the vision, you start to activate the answer towards the question that you asked. Okay? So the first step of learning how to ask a question, and here I all the time give the quote of Einstein, which is, if I have an hour and I need to dedicate 55 minutes, I have an hour and I need to find a proper answer, I will dedicate the 55 minutes to learn how to ask the question in the proper way. Why?
It's fine because it'll probably be very difficult to be able to find the answer when you don't know what kind of question you're asking. It's like if someone says to you, "What color is it?" and you say, "What's it?" and they say, "Just what color is it?" No, I need to know what it is. Just what color is it? You need more information. You need to ask the questions. Well, what am I looking at, and what is it, and what shade, and what? So that's what it is. It's to get the proper answer, like a really useful answer. It's best to go over and say, well, what exactly are all the underlying defining questions that can bring us closer to this answer? The information that we need to get to the answer, because sometimes the answer is in the question in itself.
It's not sometimes, all the
All
time.
the time.
Why? Because when we ask question, that means that we put the focus on somewhere in the question. And it depends on which point of view we are looking at when we ask the question. Because when we ask the question from a defective point of view, you will receive, a reality, a physical reality that you will see in front of you is what you put there. And most of the people don't know that they act from the autopilot. They ask so many questions during the day, and they ask it from a place of where it will happen to me this time again. Like, for example, a child that feels rejected at school, what he will ask is, where will feel rejected this time? Our question is based, it sounds like we have kind of like a Google engine system underneath in our subconscious. And what we do, we ask all the time questions based on the experience. Most of the painful places are already in our body cells, which means it's very easy to ask questions based on experience, a painful experience. But that's where the breakthrough is, when we stop and we learn how to ask an effective question, and we do that on a daily basis. When we open it up on a daily basis, we practice the mind to all the time to shift the energy towards the effective question that will lead to effective answer. Okay? So basically, I love to talk about the vision as a first step of building the effective question. And the first step here is I'll ask you, what is your best scenario at the end of this process?
Best scenario is be able to live a consistent day-to-day life where I find a balance between, you know, having a sense of control of what I can control, like a healthy control over things, and being able to allow for things to come when they have to come, you know, like to be able to balance control and patience. So I can have days where, like, I don't know, I can control maybe when I get up, or I can control when I have breakfast, or I can control if I email someone. But I want to be able to balance that out. We'll say I can't control the email I'm going to get back, and I can't control, you know, what the weather is going to be like when I do get up early, and I can't control if someone's going to answer me, but I want to be okay with that and say, well, I've already practiced a healthy control at what I do have control over in a healthy way, and allow that anything else that isn't to not obsess over it. Mm-hmm. So I want to be able to have that balance, because I know thinking that, oh, well, I have too much control, so I want complete and utter peace and disconnect. That doesn't sound right to me either. Mm-hmm. So that would be my ultimate, is to be like, you know, be okay and be proud and continue to practice the things that I can be controlling in life, and accept those that I can't in a very freeing, healthy way. So it's like that saying, give me the strength to, like, I don't know, something about accept what I can control and also be okay with what I can't, you know. Like
I love it. Yeah. There is anonymous alcoholics. They have a beautiful quote about that. I will find it for you and I will send it to you. Not that I'm saying that you have this addictive pattern, but what I'm saying is that to learn how to release all kinds of places that right now I don't have any control over them, and I feel like the only thing that I need to learn is to release the control over them. Okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's talk about that from a different perspective. What would you feel when you will fulfill that specific request?
Probably be able to release a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety.
Instead of stress, what do you will feel?
Oh, probably peace, but not peace in the way of like someone just chilling out doing nothing.
Yes.
A very kind of mindful peace where, you know, I kind of go day to day. I'm not relaxed and do anything, but my mind is not trying to latch on to outside energies or future moments that I have no control over anyway. I feel like I'd be able to focus more on the present. I'll be able to see what's in front of me rather than keep looking what's ahead. I'll be able to, I probably just feel, I feel like I'll be able to function in a higher way that I'm unaware of now. Mm-hmm. And I might be able to find that kind of balance that I haven't been able, because before I was always rushing, I have to do these 10 things at once and I need more and more. I'm hoping, or I'm considering that when I release, it'll bring about a kind of natural balance to everything, and then I won't be running around spreading my energy everywhere trying to make things happen, because I'll only be able to do what I can and allow for everything else. So there must be a more general sense of kind of allowing, and I feel like physically, I feel like instead of me walking around with my shoulders up to my ears with stress, I can imagine myself kind of like loose, and then my body can be allowed to only exert the energy for things it needs.
You're talking and I'm like, I'm doing that. I really feel like, you know, you're talking with from a place that it comes to my heart, and I will explain what I'm saying now because it's important for that specific stage. You said it very nice. You said it from intention. You said it from a place that I felt it, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's exactly the same thing as to write the question, sorry, for the effective question. The effective question need to be written from a place that if you read it to me, it's supposed to resonate into my heart. Why? Because, do you know why? Do you have a guess? Do you have a guess why? A clue?
Well, I mean, I imagine you pick up on what other people are feeling. So if you can feel what I'm feeling, it must be authentic. Because authentic energies can be felt. Rather than forced or unauthentic ones. People just trying to give you the answer they think you want to hear. You can usually tell the difference between that. When someone is authentic, you can feel it. It's like if someone's really crying, you feel like you want to cry. But if someone's fake crying, you're not gonna cry with them because you're like, well, this isn't really. So a physical reaction to me means that you are picking up on an authentic emotion.
Mm-hmm. True. And it's like in that specific stage, if you don't feel it from your heart, doesn't mean that this person right now, he didn't put the right address.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Our blueprint right now is to write down your address, the final destination in this road, in this new road.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine yourself right now getting into the car, putting the final destination with the zip code, with the exact address. What else do you need in order to reach the destination?
The best route, like what
Okay.
GPS would say.
Okay,
They'll
so
say,
the best route.
here's a good, safe route that doesn't have accidents along the way.
Okay. So, in order to feel secured, and you said something so interesting, like you said, I don't trust anybody, like I don't trust way.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
trust
trust,
you,
I trust
yes.
my way, okay? Which is a big observation over here. But, and you know what? Okay, let's take your way. How do you make it happen? Like, how do you make that the final destination will be so accurate so you will make it happen?
I mean, I only say that if it's almost cheating in a way. Like, I feel confident if I've already taken different roads to get there. So, like, if you say, how do you get from here to a couple blocks? I'm like, I know every destination there. But if you were to tell me, well, how do you get here from Ottawa? Okay, there I'm a little stuck. I don't know. To be there, I would probably have to open up a map. And for sure, and the thing is, for sure, there's side roads, but more than likely it's going to show me the highway because it's the safest, it's the most direct. And at that point, it's going to be useless for me to say, well, I know my own way. I'll be like, well, you actually don't. You don't know how to get to Ottawa. And if they're saying that the highway is the quickest, fastest way to go through it, it's probably best if you get on the highway.
So it's basically what you described here is the old way, in opposed to a way that you don't know how to work with, but to learn how to trust and surrender into this like new way, right? Yeah. So if we think about it, and we'll go back to this final destination, you get into the car, you put in ways, then the final destination. What else do you need in the car?
Snacks along the way.
Snacks. What else? So the car will move.
Oh, you need gas, I guess, for
Gas,
the car.
right? What are those? The snacks, the gas. What are those?
Energy, I guess, for the car and for you.
True. So in order to create the trust, first, you put a final destination, but the final destination needs to be very accurate, that it will sink into your heart.
Yeah.
Right? And then you don't know the way, but you do know that you have to have snacks and you have fuel in order to move on in the right direction.
Yeah.
Basically, this is the process over here. Today, you, first of all, you described it very well, okay? After the next step is to write it down. And I will give you right now time to get connected to yourself and to write it in a way that it will be very accurate, like a needle. Something that when I hear it, it will resonate into my heart, and it will be something that, as you spoke before, I started to move, like you were talking about releasing, and I felt it. I felt my body. I want to feel it, okay? And that will be the place that I will feel that the heart is starting to speak, and the mind is allowing to the heart to speak. This is the second step. And then we're going to add into that the show me the way, or show me the best way. Because basically, why do you think that we need to add this heart at the beginning of your best scenario, your vision?
Which part?
Like, show me the best way to, and then why?
It's the same as the Einstein answering question thing, like you're asking the question for the answer. What is the best way to? There's a question in that.
What is the subconscious there? Like what? Like the not subconscious, sub content there.
Sub-content. Sub-content. I don't know what the term sub-content means.
It's like what exactly do you try or do you want to tell by asking the question that way?
The only thing I can think of is the question is asking not to give me the answer, but to show me the way to work through to the answer. Because when you say show me the way, you're not saying give me the answer. You're not saying give me the final destination. You're saying show me the route. So it's almost like saying, I want to know how to do the work. You're asking to be shown how to put in the work, not just to say, well, I want the destination, now put me on a Greyhound bus and take me there. It's no, I actually want to drive there and I want to make the pit stops along the way and I want to figure out where I took a wrong turn. And you're asking to be put in a situation where you put in the work for yourself to get there and not just get there.
I love what you just said. It's beautiful. I will add, because it's beautiful. I didn't think, I'm not describing it the way you describe it, and I love it, and it's very aligned with what I'm going to say, but I will take it because it's beautiful. What I say is that we are a very tiny little dust in this big life, universe, whatever you want to call it, nature. And when we think that we know better the way, we know the way, basically what we do is we close the roads, the possibilities, the endless possibilities to find, maybe a better way, maybe a way that I'm not familiar with, because I'm so familiar with my way, the old way, with the traffic lights and the bumps and with all kinds of cracks in the road. But once you say, I don't know, I really don't know the way. I know that there are so many possibilities there. I am just allowing myself right now not to know the way. And instead I'm trusting that right now I work on my steps towards the way. And by that, I allowing the endless possibilities there, that it's way bigger than this little dust. Give me the answers to learn how to step on this way. So it will keep myself in balance. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you right now time 5 minutes to write down on the notebook, in the notebook, what is coming up for you in terms of the best scenario. And at the end, when you finish up, you will read it to me. And we're gonna practice from there.
Okay.
Do you want music in the background, or you prefer not to?
No, it's okay. Music will put you to sleep. The best case scenario. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think. My best case scenario, I think, my best case scenario toward it, without writing a story, is to find a balance between peace and control, enjoying the beauty of myself and the space around me, while allowing for it to be filled with the unknown.
Speak it. Don't read it to me. I want for you to speak it. Now that we clarified.
Because there's two types of spaces for me. The space that I filled it with the things I control, with who I am, with the friends I choose, the things I want to do, with the person I want to be, and to enjoy that, because sometimes I don't recognize my strengths and my abilities, the things I can do. I look past them because I'm waiting for the next best thing, or I look past the people in my life or I'm waiting for something more, or I look past the opportunities that I already have because I'm waiting for something better. So to find a balance between appreciating what is already within my space, and yet at the same time allowing for there to be space within that space to say, if some new thing comes in, if a new person comes in, or if a new ability comes in, or if a new knowledge comes in, or if a new gift comes in, or a new opportunity comes in, there's space for that. Rather than saying, no, I already have my friends, I already have my life, I already have I already know who I am, I don't have to change, I already know my gifts. No, it's about having that, but also if something says, oh, we're here with a new person, or a new ability, or a new knowledge, or I say, oh, I have space for that, you can come in.
I have two things. So what I'm saying, I felt you radiant it, okay? But when you read it, I felt like it was blocked. I don't know why, but I felt like I want to hear it again from what you read.
To find a balance between peace and control, enjoying the beauty of myself and the space around me, while allowing for it to be filled with the unknown.
Okay. Now when you explained it, I read it and I connected it and it came.
Yeah.
But again, and I love that what you did is you went general, which means you weren't attached to some materialism or I want a specific person or,
Yeah.
as long as we go general, That means that we connect ourselves to our values, our emotions that we want to be there. And actually, what you do, you minimalize the opportunities there. Yes, I can tell that slowly, during the process, there will be some clients that you might need to clients or you with yourself, you will might need to add some more information and details.
Yeah.
Okay? But for now, the instruction will be just go general. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, that's the step. I love when there is a big, long vision, but sometimes there are so what I love to do as homework is to emphasize all the places that you feel the gaps of who you are today, vice versa of who you would like to be in the final destination. And this just to observe the gap is kind of like a therapeutic place because this is what we're doing here all the time. We are observing the gap. By observing the gap from many angles, instead of judging it, like falling from the rope, losing the balance, beating ourselves up for that, we are practicing observation on the gap. Okay? So if you look right now on that vision, how far you are from there?
Oh, very far. It's funny because how far can I possibly be if I can envision it? I mean, if I can envision it, if I have some sort of knowledge of what that's like, you'd think I'd be close to it, because how can you not know something that you don't see or understand? How can someone describe the ocean to me? I've never seen it, but it's exactly like this. And they're like, how do you know if you're describing it, but you say you've never seen it? It's a contradiction. I see it, and yet it feels like it's far. It feels like there's a lot of work and a lot of a fight back from myself. It's interesting. It's not something. In other scenarios I've had where I wanted something, I felt like a wall was put there, not of my own will. Like in my other times when I've had to look at something, I say, oh, someone put a wall in front of my way, I can't cross. Well, this time it's different. This time, it's not that somebody put anything in front of me. It's not that something's in my way. It's almost like I've taken handcuffs to myself, latched it onto what's ever close by, and saying, I'm going to stay right here. Because I'm scared to go what's there, and I'm kind of used to this. It's like, or I'm holding on. It's like someone saying, here, why don't you get up and go over there? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm right here. So that's why it's different. I see it, and there's nothing necessarily in my way, but just based on my own habits and my own way of thinking and my own life, and just who I've been up to this point. I feel myself sitting in this chair, be like, it's there, I see it, but I still feel, that's why I say, well, if it's right there, why are you so far? Because I'm pretty comfortable right here. Even though I'm not happy, I'm comfortable. And the idea of having to get up and maybe walk over there or jump through some hurdles or maybe make an effort to get there or jump on a bike, however I have to get there, it seems like a lot of effort. I was like, can't I just stay here and be bitter and miserable because it's comfortable?
It's interesting what you're saying. All the time when you were talking, what came up to me is the duality, that how you how you look at yourself. But today in our conversation, we were talking about the softness that I see in you, and you were like, really? Is it me? Is it in me? And when you were talking right now, it was like, this is far. But at the same time, it's like the cigar that it's there all the time in front of you, and you couldn't see it. And like you in your situation, you saw it, right?
Yeah,
you saw it first, and then you couldn't see it. No, you saw it first, and then you needed to look how people see it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is very interesting in general. When I meet people that they see first the cigar, I know that they see the world from a very different perspective than others, the normality, the majority. And according to what I'm saying now, what's your lessons? What's your gap? Like, what's your way here?
That, like, I know, like I said, we know I saw the cigar, you know, we know I see it. I have the knowledge, it's there, I know what I'm seeing, I know what I want, I probably even know the path to it. I'm restrained by my own sense of comfort and possibly my own fear of, because the thing is, there's no guarantee, right? That's the scary part. There is no guarantee that, oh, you're gonna find that perfect peace and balance and happiness. At least in my mind, I'm like, well, no one's promising me that I'm gonna find that happiness. No one's promising I'm gonna find my ideal partner or I'm gonna have my ideal job. No one's promising that. So I'm like, why would I make the effort?
Can I ask you a question? Do you trust the process?
I trust that the process. I trust that the process will give me tools to get to be able to find what I'm looking for. Fortunately, you found me in a place where I'm mature enough to know that, you know, you can't expect like a prize at the end of you can't assume. But that doesn't mean you didn't gain anything on the way. I trust that by the end of this, I may not have the perfect life that appeared before me, but the way I live my life towards what might be meant for me, what will probably bring me that sense that I'm looking for, I'll have the tools for it and I'll have a better understanding for it. Basically, I am hesitant to know, even though I've done this process and I know it works, and yet somehow there's still the whole, well, will I get what I want from it? It's like, but I don't know, like I don't know, but I'm excited enough in life and curious enough in myself that I want to go through it, and I also believe that I'll learn something out of it.
What about commitment? I'm telling you that because they're not magic. There are no magics here, and there is kind of like commitment that if you're a practitioner and you're training cannot be committed to this process 100%, no guarantee.
Yeah.
But once there is a commitment here, there is no chance that you won't be able to go through a breakthrough here. Because think about it. It's kind of like, think about your body, think about your muscles, think about everything in your life that you were very committed to. It's something that yes, I agree that there are some people that needs to work harder. There are some people it comes very easy, but commitment is the key point for successful here in this process. And it's okay, it's just a second meeting. And as long as we will go through this way, there will be doubt, there will be a lot of question marks. also resistance, but at the end, this is part of the layers that you're cleaning. The doubts, the self-doubt, all those places that it's too comfortable to move because nobody can assure me that it will happen.
Yeah.
So that's the paradox that I hear from that card. Okay. So your homework for this time is if you find that you want to add more of the emotional levels that you want to feel, because I felt the joy, the balance, like feel the balance, and the allowance in that specific vision. And if you want to feel that you want to add some more details about the surrounding around you, relationship, the relationship between you and yourself, the relationship that you want to create around you, that will be the time to do that during the week, to process, the final destination, to get connected, because once and every day to read it to yourself out loud, because once you read it, you allow yourself to already put the focus there and to activate the effective answer towards the question. And it's important just to say something. That's it. No, actually, I will add it in a different video, so I don't want to add it here. But that's basically your homework for this week. What are you taking from here today?
I'm feeling, I can feel where, not the resistance, but the kind of hesitation or maybe the exhaustion. It doesn't help that I woke up at like 6:30 this morning. So, but even if I did wake up later, you can already tell that, like, by going through everything we were talking about, it's such a path. Like the fact that we were talking about a trip and getting from here and getting to there, and I thought, it's so exciting when you're first on a trip. You know how people get into the car like, yay, road trip, and then 2 hours on the road, they're like, oh, I don't want this anymore. I just want to get there. So I feel like I'm 2 hours into the road, and I'm like, we just left, and already I'm not having fun anymore. Like, we already went through all the songs on the playlist, and we already ate the snacks, and now we're like, well, now I'm bored, and now I just want to get there. And so, it doesn't mean that I'm still not looking, because I'm like, but I still want to get there. So the want of getting there is still there. The idea of, but I'm going to get on this road, I'm not going to turn around and head back because I do want to get there. It's just now at the moment, it's when everyone's quiet in the car, they're like, and traffic might come up ahead, or a detour might come up ahead, or maybe something fun.
I can relate so much to this card. Like, it's like the patient that is like right now is stretching, and it's getting into a different place, but it's not fun. It's not fun. It's not fun.
Yeah, and especially in that picture with the sand, and sand it's grating, but sand is also polishing. That's the thing. Sand is so annoying, and it scratches, and it hurts, and it's annoying, but sand is used to polish.
I love what you just said, Gabriela. It's so beautiful. And this is what we're doing here. We're polishing the corners. So your world, your inner world will be round instead of like squares.
Yeah. That's what I'm going through now. I'm being polished.
Yes, you are.
So it hurts, and it's tiresome, and it's chipping away unnecessary pieces of me that I thought were part of my identity. And I'm saying, hey, where's that going? And what's that happening? And why are you taking away this? Because it's new and it's uncomfortable, and it's taking away things that I thought I wanted to be either a part of me or a part of my life. And yet somehow I know that it's working for something. And I'm only hoping that I'm like, well, who's ever doing this better make me into a diamond by the time we're through. I better have a high-end Jewish jeweler working on me.
It doesn't make me Jewish.
Right.
Everything.
Well, they're supposed to be the best. Yes. So I'm like, someone better be shaping me, like this better be shaping me into the diamond I want to be, because right now this is super uncomfortable. And also when you polish something, that's the other thing. You have to hold it in place, right? You can't just polish something like this and they'll go flying out. when you polish something, I know because I work with children, you have to hold it firmly in place and it can't go anywhere. You have to pass it and you have to start polishing and it can't go anywhere. And it says, let me out. And you go, I can't, because if I let you go out, you're going to go flying and then you're not going to get finished.
That's so strong, this metaphor that you're getting. Metaphor. In Hebrew, it's metaphora, but metaphor. Anyway, what I'm saying is that I would love if you go home and open up chapter 71. And I know that sometimes the Tao is a little bit difficult to understand because of the paradoxes. But what I would like you to do is to circle or to emphasize the sentences that you can feel, that they can add more of the insight that you just said about the sand, about, suffering. Is that it's a chapter that each book has a different translation and each book has a different title and of the Tao.
Yeah.
So I will send you the electronic Tao version that I love, and I will, you're more than welcome to open a few versions and to collect more of, insights and perspectives of others. But it will be very interesting to see what you're taking out from this specific paragraph of the Tao. Tao 71.
Yeah.
Okay? Thank you, Gabriela.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.